Yeah,
I
New Jack.
wish if I would have saw him, I would have stayed into it because when I end up once I saw that interview and I started researching him, I was like, he would have been who I would have liked at that time.
Oh yeah, I call him
before him, for me, my favorite black wrestlers were Ron Simmons when he was Ron Simmons.
Oh yeah,
Butch Reed when he was Ron Simmons. Not when he became like Farouk.
Oh yeah, Farouk when he was nation,
like
when he was angry.
Yeah, I did like that.
I did like that. I'm not gonna
lie. But I liked him as Ron Simmons better. But okay, yeah, so, those guys I liked when I was a kid. As far as black wrestlers go, and I'm always gonna love the Junkyard Dog. So I'm never gonna say I don't. But motherfucking New Jack, yes. I wish I would have been watching it.
And I'm gonna say a wrestler that a lot of people don't give credit to. Xavier Woods. I love Xavier Woods because Xavier Woods had an idea for a black group, and it got shitted on. I'm not gonna lie to you because they thought it would come out as the new nation, but they didn't. They came out with some corny stuff, but they made it work. And he was like, "Yo, his whole goal." And the man came out and said it 10 years before, 5 or 6 years before. He said, "Listen, my goal is to make my man's the world champion." And when he won, I said, "This is only because of Kofi. Kofi believed in this man so much. He was in everybody's ear. Yo, put this man up." And I say Kofi Kingston is. I mean, Kofi Kingston. Yeah. Xavier Woods is a great wrestler. And he's underrated on the mic. He is underrated on the mic. I like him.
Oh, he can spit, or you talking about promo?
Promos, he gets in on his promos.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have to go. Ron Simmons is definitely on my top. Jay Lethal, Xavier Woods. Who else?
Shit.
That's about it.
I'm trying to think about back in the day, but Junkyard Dog.
Yeah.
My first black wrestler, that was that. Man, Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog. He died tragically though too.
Yeah.
He died. I think he died either on his way to his daughter's graduation or after the graduation. He died in Mississippi. Lived in Mississippi. Bad News Brown.
Oh, that's the one I fucking love. Bro. Bad News Brown with the ghetto blaster. His move was the ghetto blaster.
There's another guy you should watch. You'll like him. You would definitely like it. His name is Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor Promotions. One of his finishing moves is the Garvey Driver. Like he got the people's right. You will like him. He's real militant. He on it. Like, I like him. I definitely. I'm sorry.
And we gotta say The Rock. We gotta say The Rock, right? The Rock represent black people. Or no? Tell me. I just want to know. I think he did, but
okay.
I know it can be debatable.
It's debatable. So I don't feel like. Okay, this is gonna be real. I don't like talking about that too much live, but
no, fuck that shit.
I feel like
shit. We on the beer beats and eats. We spit that shit.
Like I like The Rock, but I felt like The Rock never really embraced his black side. I mean, it's there, but I mean, he goes under. He's one of the first African American, WWE.
So who do you think has something to do with that?
I mean,
Vince had nothing to do with that?
No, because I mean,
you think The Rock said, "You know what? I can't do that because I won't be able to go super mainstream if I do."
No, I think I think he has a closer relationship with his Samoan side because he just found out within the last 6 months about his 5 or 6 other brothers and sisters that he didn't know he had. So I don't think that is a lack of him not embracing it. I mean, because he had to because he went to Florida. He played for Miami.
So how about this? Does a child embrace, and I'm talking about interracial, does a child embrace the mother's side of the family more or the father's side?
It depends on the family. It depends on the family and how strong the other family is. It's just like with me. Okay. I'm more closer to my mom's side of the family only because they have a stronger bond. And depending on what side of the family you tend to hang out with more, that tends to be the side that you probably gravitate to. Now, I have met some who were on one way, but then as they got older, they started gaining more black friends, so they started understanding their black side more. So I think it depends on like one, it depends on who you're around more too, and it's a roll of the dice. Some people they tend to gravitate more to their white side, and that's not a problem. They just I just happen to their personality just happen to their personality just
definitely
happen.
not a yeah definitely not a problem. It never should.
And they just so happen to gravitate. They just happen to like that music, and it happen to. So that's just where that. And some tend to gravitate more towards their black side. Like I have a friend, one of my friends I play football with. He gravitated more towards his black side. So he had a lot more black friends. He dated a lot more black girls, and he just more intertwined that way. And that's just what it is. Now, some other ones I've had, they gravitated more towards the white side. There have been some where I saw some problematic, I call it problematic stuff, where they'll be one way and then all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, don't make me bring out my black side. And that was always cringy. That was always cringy to me. I'm like, so like, well, what is a Super Saiyan? You about to level up? Like,
I don't like, you know what? I don't like when black people do that shit either. I'm talking about black people that be like, no, I'm still ghetto. Even though they didn't grow up like that. I'd still be ghetto. I hate that shit too. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's like, what do you gotta do you gotta say that to prove that you're not gonna take shit? Why does that have to be the identity when you wanna, like, you
need it? Yeah.
You Super Saiyan now?
You
finna jump in the phone booth?
I mean,
you went from Clark Kent to Superman? And that's what it gotta be? No, let me get ghetto now. The same thing, you know what I mean? So I don't like that because I don't feel like that has to be an expression. I mean, if I'm not gonna take shit, I'm just not gonna take shit. Yeah, that's who I am. I don't need a racial tag to help me not take. Right, I don't need that caveat at all.
I love that word. That's one of my favorite words in the world, caveat. I don't get to use it much, but when I get it, whenever I can throw it in, I'll try. That's a big thing for me. I seen this one dude on TikTok. I follow him. He's a black guy, but he just so happens to be in the all white stuff. He likes big trucks. He likes country music, and there's nothing wrong with
it's not.
And I follow him. I definitely like all this stuff, and I see guys like that, and I know guys like that who just so happen to they're not saying that they're not black, but they just happen to lean towards. They just fit in that space, and they're fine with it.
I love that shit. I'm like that. I like rock and roll. I mean, I love hip hop, but I like rock and roll. I can get with it. And the benefit. I'm just gonna go with the benefit. The benefit for me, growing up, the way I grew up, is that I'm able to accept and understand different aspects of life. I grew up in a military lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah, I grew up in it. Actually, I spent my adolescent years growing up in that, being around different people. It wasn't just one type of environment. And however, I left one type of environment actually when we left. You know, but I still was in a different type of environment, just being in Mount Clemens. Yeah. So but we spent a lot of time
in Detroit.
At home, in Detroit. Well, spent a lot of time at home. I would say we spent a lot of time at home. Especially, not gonna get too deep in it, but we spent a lot of time at home. So I'm happy that I can see so many different angles from everything. Yeah, because I love when brothers don't like the same thing. We don't have to be the same.
Like I had talked this girl asked me about a podcast I did it for her, and they were talking about interracial dating, and she was like, "Oh well, did you date white girls in high school just because they were white?" I was like, no. I was like, I dated who liked me. I was like, I was into wrestling and all this weird, like kind of weird stuff to black people at the time. So they was like, yeah, you cute, but you a little different. So we're not gonna deal with that. So I was like, what did you expect me to do? I was like, so you wanted me to go through high school with not dating anybody,
not yourself.
Yeah, being not
to
or
try
not
to date somebody.
Either not being myself or not dating and waiting for the world to catch up to who I was like, no, I gotta figure this out. And she was like, I never thought about it.
Yeah. And I hate that a lot of
I see it more now.
I hate a lot of people don't think about it like that, because why should someone limit themselves, and especially when it comes to dating? Who don't want to have an opposite sex friend, attraction? Who don't want to have that? And why do I have to either be not who I am or not date to have that? That doesn't make sense. And if it's a white girl, I'm like, so what? So I'm supposed to fit into your category for you to like me? No.
I'm like, I ain't gonna lay down with you. You good? Like, those are issues that people have to deal with. Like, I see it more now. It's common now. Watching TikTok, you still get those people who are bad mouth a black dude for dating a white girl or a white girl.
I hate that shit.
I used to always laugh when I saw a black girl with a white guy, and I'll be around some of my black friends. They're like, "Oh man, why am I?"
Trust and believe. Look, there was a time when I was younger, I got mad about that shit, but I had to get older and understand that just because somebody's the same race doesn't mean they're gonna like you for who you are.
And I used to
I hate that shit.
I used to always joke. I'm like, maybe she got tired of hearing every black guy dating having an aspiration to be a rapper or a drug dealer. Maybe she wanted to hear something a little different. So I was like, hey, you know what? You happy? You got your brown sugar? You got your vanilla swirl? Look, y'all, look, who better?
My thing was, when it comes to relationship, who you connect with the best matters. Mm-hmm. That's it. Nothing else matters. We can throw race into this, but why? That's what they do on purpose. You got black people that don't get it. You got white people that don't get it. It's just a headache a lot of times.
I did notice something, and it was about LeBron James. Funny thing, LeBron James' son.
This kid.
Yeah, but somebody brought up an interesting point. Somebody said they badmouthed and slandered him to all outdoors, but then when Serena did it, you look at her comments. There was no bad. There was limited bad comments about her dating a white man. Then when you see
it wasn't as major.
Yeah,
but who's LeBron date that was white?
No, he dated a white girl in high school. His son. Yeah, his son had posted. LeBron posted a picture. It's a picture.
That was just.
And then
that was just.
And somebody brought
that was just a lot of. That was just a lot of negative people
and
wanting to be negative. That's the best way I'm gonna say it.
And then
just a lot of negative people thriving off negativity, and that's what we have now. That's how I'm gonna start saying shit. There was a lot of negative people that wanted to be negative and not accept it. It's a lot of people out here that want to accept certain things when it's convenient.
Yeah.
In a certain way, but don't want to accept other things. And don't, in my honest opinion, if you want to accept it like that, don't want to put in the work to feel the way they feel. If you get what I'm saying, if my listeners get what I'm saying.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
So we got 4 minutes left, and I'm gonna end it with this one. LeBron. Somebody, a dude brought up an interesting statement about it. He said, "Listen, LeBron, look at where his son goes to school at. It's probably 40% white, maybe 10% black, and whatever is the other." Yeah, so he's like, and he's like, it's probably a smaller pool of black people. And maybe the black girls at school just didn't have the same kind of whatever that he was into. So he was like, hey, we connecting. So all right.
My thing, I'm gonna say this. We have a shared experience as being black people. But that don't mean we the same people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're gonna relate to certain things, but there's certain little things that we can relate to that when you want to get intimate with someone, you might not be able to relate to. And so that's what ends up happening. And so I'm gonna end it on that note, brother. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you and I appreciate. I love this. I love doing this. We're definitely gonna do it again.
We have to. I'm about to send you the files so you can hear them and chop them up.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do.